What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, December 26th, 2023, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. We have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East. So, the US is confirming that they have shot down 12 attack drones, 3 anti ship ballistic missiles, and 2 land attack cruise missiles in the southern Red Sea that were fired by the Houthis over a 10-hour period, which began at approximately 6:30 a.m. local time in Yemen on December the 26th, which is today. Apparently, there were no casualties or damage reported, and they used the USS Laboon and F-18 Super Hornets from the Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group to shoot down these missiles and drones. This is crazy, guys. 12 attack drones, 3 anti ship ballistic missiles, and 2 land attack cruise missiles. That is a huge number. That's probably the most amount that have been shot down in such a short period of time in the Red Sea since this war started, and maybe even in recent history. I mean, I can't remember any time in the last 10 or 20 years that the U.S. had to shoot down that much ordinance. So the situation is continuing to escalate in the Red Sea. In addition to that, the situation between Hezbollah and Israel is continuing to escalate. Apparently, Hezbollah launched an attack on an Israeli chicken farm in northern Israel, and they also launched an attack on a Greek Orthodox church. And so the situation is escalating. And I do have a video of the Israeli army spokesman talking about the latest situation with Hezbollah, but it looks like Israel is going to go after Hezbollah and possibly Yemen soon after they're done with the main part of their operation in Gaza. But they're basically starting to build the case for an operation into Lebanon to deal with Hezbollah, and also potentially an operation in Yemen to quiet down those Houthis. So here you have it, guys. This is 100% confirmed by US CENTCOM. Okay, this is their Twitter page. Okay, confirming that 12 drones, 3 anti ship ballistic missiles, and 2 land attack cruise missiles were shot down this morning over a 10-hour period, guys. If you do the math, that's like over 1 drone or missile per hour. Okay, that's a serious amount. And then yesterday, the U.S. conducted airstrikes in Iraq against the Iraqi Hezbollah, and apparently they killed a number of the Iraqi Hezbollah militants. So even after these airstrikes, these Houthis and these Iraqi militants that are being sponsored by Iran are continuing their attacks. We had more attacks on U.S. bases today. Okay, so they don't care about these limited strikes that the Biden administration is doing. They're not intimidated by a few warehouses being destroyed by US F-16s, and you have, Lloyd Austin and the Biden administration, bragging about how tough they are because they blew up a few warehouses. They're not intimidated by that. Okay? And it's continuing to get worse and worse. They already attacked our embassy. They've attacked multiple bases. They've attacked more bases today. Okay, over 100 plus attacks on U.S. bases. So it's spiraling out of control. I want to just update you guys on some information coming out of Iran. And the advisor to the commander of the Quds force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is a part of the Iranian military, said, "We will level Tel Aviv to the ground if Israel invades Iranian territory. There is no need for Iranian intervention, and the resistance is capable of managing the war." So basically, he was saying that Iran is not going to go after Israel just yet. He's saying that the current resistance fighters, which are all the proxies, the Iranian proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, all the militants in Iraq and Syria, they're basically doing Iran's dirty work for them now. but I do think that Iran is going to attack Israel or potentially our oil fields, or they're going to do something aggressive soon because Israel assassinated the general of one of the branches of the Iranian military responsible for uh, handling the logistics with all the Iranian proxies. Okay, the guy's name was Musavi, very high ranking general that was assassinated by the Israeli military. And the Iranian president said yesterday that Israel will, quote unquote, pay the price for that assassination. And Iran's Minister of Intelligence says that the Israeli assassination of Musavi in Damascus will have, quote unquote, dire repercussions for the Zionist entity. Okay, so strong words there from the Iranian Minister of Intelligence. The Houthi rebels in Yemen just attacked another ship this evening. The container ship MSC United carried goods from Saudi Arabia to Egypt when it was attacked. Yemen's Houthis say they targeted the MSC United with missiles after it did not heed three warning calls. And the Houthis in Yemen announced that they carried out drone attacks on the Israeli port of Eilat. And Damascus and Aleppo airports in Syria have announced that they are out of service following the recent Israeli airstrikes. Those were the airstrikes that assassinated Musavi, the IRGC general. And here we have the official warning from the UK MTO showing one of these incidents that occurred today. There were two incidents today. Here's one of them, and then here's the other one. Okay, so one of these two separate incidents here, the MSC United was attacked, and the Islamic resistance in Iraq has claimed responsibility for a missile attack earlier today against U.S. forces at the Al Shaddadi military base in northeastern Syria. So, this is after we launched those airstrikes. They attacked a U.S. base, and this is being confirmed by the Islamic resistance. Those are the jihadists. They're saying they carried out a missile attack earlier today. And then just about 2 hours ago, in the late afternoon, apparently three large explosions were heard near the Al Assad Air Base in western Iraq. Okay, the Al Assad Air Base is one of the main air bases operated by the U.S. military in Iraq. So, looks like multiple attacks again today on U.S. bases in Iraq after we launched those airstrikes. Okay, and Hezbollah attacked a chicken farm earlier today in northern Israel and a Greek Orthodox church. The IDF says 9 soldiers were wounded, including one seriously, in an anti tank guided missile attack in the Shamera earlier in northern Israel after they arrived to evacuate a civilian wounded in an earlier Hezbollah attack against a church. Hezbollah fired a missile from Lebanon at the Greek Orthodox Church of Ikrit, moderately wounding a civilian in his 80s. As troops arrived to evacuate the wounded man, Hezbollah fired additional missiles, wounding 9 soldiers. One was listed in serious condition, while the other 8 were listed in good to moderate condition. The IDF says it targeted a Hezbollah site in Lebanon, as well as a building to which the operative who launched the missile at the church fled to. So it's escalating, guys. The situation between Israel and Hezbollah is escalating. Want to just show you guys a picture here coming out of Russia. This is in Crimea. This is that landing ship that was destroyed late last night by a Ukrainian missile of some kind. They hit this ship and completely annihilated it. There's nothing left of it. And here we have a picture coming out of Simferopol. Simferopol is in Crimea. Looks like S-400s potentially being moved into Crimea now after that attack by Ukraine on that ship. And here we have video footage of that attack in case you missed my update earlier today and yesterday. Here you can see the footage of that massive explosion from when the Ukrainian missile hit that landing ship. Now, apparently, this landing ship could carry up to 500 tons of cargo, and Ukraine was saying that Russia was using this ship to move Iranian drones around, that they were basically holding Iranian drones in that ship and basically using it as like a cargo ship. So they targeted it with apparently some kind of cruise missile, and they were able to destroy the whole ship, including the drones on board. But that's not 100% confirmed. That's just a theory. I mean, we don't know why there's this massive fireball here. I mean, look at that fireball. That is just absolutely insane. Here's a picture from last night showing that ship on fire here. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, they have brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all contained within 6 rugged watertight buckets, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. Free shipping included, 25% off their normal price. Use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get the discount. They also have a 2-week emergency food supply, which is excellent for outdoorsmen or people who go vehicle camping. They also have a general store. If you click the My Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com, it'll take you to their general store where they have everything you can imagine, from potassium iodide to water filters, solar generators, solar panels, survival seeds, fire starters, anything you can imagine, it's all there. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month freeze-dried food supply. And the link is in the description below this video. And the IDF said that they intercepted a hostile aerial target in the Red Sea area earlier today. An Air Force fighter jet of the Israeli Air Force successfully intercepted a hostile aerial target on its way to Israeli territory in the Red Sea. So Israel's losing their patience, guys. Okay. They've told the U.S. multiple times, if you don't deal with Yemen, we're going to have to do it, because they're firing drones and missiles at our territory. And we can't just continue to allow that to happen. And Netanyahu and the Israeli defense minister told them, listen, if you guys don't deal with Yemen, we're going to do it. And, this Operation Prosperity Guardian, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it looks like what the U.S. is planning to do is basically waste multi-million-dollar missiles to shoot down drones that are worth $5,000. And they're using $2 million missiles to shoot down $5,000 drones, okay, which is the stupidest thing. I mean, all those drones that we shot down earlier today, the 12 drones, those drones are probably worth just a few $1,000s a piece, and we probably spent $20 million to shoot them down. I mean, how stupid is that? Okay, and that's all the Biden administration. They're afraid to go to the source of the problem and eliminate the Houthis and attack the launching sites. Okay, it's not like we don't know where those launching sites are. Okay, we could just completely annihilate all their locations. We have the Tomahawk missiles in the region, we have the entire Eisenhower strike group, and they're just sitting around wasting multi-million-dollar interceptor missiles to shoot down these drones that are worth nothing, basically. I mean, it's the dumbest thing, and it's really agitating. I want to just play this video coming from the spokesman for the Israeli military, Herzi Halevi, I think is his name, and he's talking about Hezbollah. And here in this video, if you pay attention to what he says, he's basically making the connection now that Hezbollah is another Hamas. Okay, Israel is building the case that they're going to have to go after Hezbollah now. That's what they're doing here. This is the initial stages of Israel justifying an operation against Hezbollah, okay? And they've warned the U.S. multiple times. They've warned Lebanon. They've warned the UN. Listen, if you don't push back Hezbollah from the border, we're going to have to do it. And they're going to do it, guys. Okay. Netanyahu is not a pushover. The Biden administration's been pressuring him for a ceasefire. The whole world has been pressuring him for a ceasefire. And he said over and over, we're not going to stop until we finish the operation. We're not going to allow any outside forces to manipulate us and pressure us to stop this operation. And I believe the next operation is going to be Hezbollah once they're done with the main phase of Gaza. So let's just listen to what he has to say here.
Today, Hezbollah fired an anti-tank missile from Lebanon, hitting a Greek Orthodox church in northern Israel, wounding 2 Israeli Christians.
Wounding 2 Israeli Christians, okay?
When IDF troops arrived to evacuate the wounded, Hezbollah terrorists fired another missile at the church, wounding 9 of our soldiers. Shortly after Hezbollah deliberately fired at the church, Hezbollah then fired at Israel from next to a mosque in Lebanon. We shared clear video evidence of this so that Hezbollah's violations of international law are on full display to the world. Iran backed Hezbollah in Lebanon follows the same extremist and dangerous ideology as Hamas.
So he says here Hezbollah follows the same extremist and dangerous ideology as Hamas. Okay, so he's making that connection right now, and he says that Iran is backing them.
Firing from holy sites in Lebanon and Gaza, firing at holy sites across Israel. Hezbollah is committing war crimes by indiscriminately attacking places of worship, just like Hamas. Hezbollah is risking the stability of the region for the sake of Hamas.
Basically, a passive warning right there. Hezbollah is risking the stability of the region for the sake of Hamas. That's a passive warning, guys. He's basically warning Hezbollah.
Hezbollah started attacking Israel on October 7th, and it's been increasing its attacks ever since. The IDF has been responding and will continue to respond. Hezbollah is trying to drag the country of Lebanon and the region into this war that Hamas started. If Hezbollah continues, they will bear the consequences and the responsibility for the outcome.
Wow, guys, listen to that. That is insane. If Hezbollah continues, they will bear the consequences.
And the responsibility for the outcome. An unnecessary war aimed at fulfilling an ISIS ideology that could bring an unwanted destruction to the people of Lebanon in this war they don't deserve. A war that the entire region doesn't deserve. We are preparing for all scenarios.
We are preparing for all scenarios, okay? So he's talking about an escalation here. And, you know, a lot of people say that the Israeli military is bloodlusted, that they're attacking civilians. Look at how patient they are. They're allowing Hezbollah to attack their territory, and they haven't actually invaded Lebanon yet. They're just responding right now defensively. Okay, they've been extremely patient because they know if they go after Hezbollah that there could be some kind of an escalation, and then Lebanon would get drawn in, and there would be civilian casualties, collateral damage. And he's saying right here that it would be bad for the whole region, and Israel's basically trying to avoid that from happening. But, you know, there's only so much time that they can allow to pass by of being constantly attacked. You know? But there's only so many attacks that they can tolerate. They're going to have to defend themselves at some point.
Should a diplomatic solution not be found to Hezbollah's constant violations of UN Security Council Resolution 1701, Hezbollah is a threat to Israel, Lebanon, and the entire region.
Wow, guys. Hezbollah is a threat to Israel, Lebanon, and the entire region. So this is basically a foreshadowing and a warning So get prepared, guys. Things are about to escalate. Here's some video footage that was released by the Israeli Defense Forces showing their F-16 fighter pilots shooting down this hostile aerial target. Looks like a drone. It looks like there's a little propeller here. You can kind of see this propeller in the back. Looks like some kind of a drone, probably an Iranian drone, a Shahed drone, the same drones that Russia has been using against Ukraine. Iran mass produces them on the cheap and they sell them to the Houthis or even give them for free. So Israel is having to shoot down more and more objects flying towards them from Yemen. Okay, there's only so much they're going to tolerate of that. And here we have footage that was released by the IDF showing Hezbollah launching the anti tank guided missile out of a mosque. Okay, out of a mosque because they know that Israel's not going to strike mosques. So they hide in the mosques and they launch missiles from them, and this was the missile that they fired at the Israeli soldiers when they came to the Greek Orthodox Church to tend to the wounded civilian. So they're violating all types of, international laws on war by, attacking churches, attacking troops when they're going to treat the wounded. All kinds of international laws of war being violated. And want to just update you guys on Israel's campaign in the Gaza Strip. The Israeli Defense Force has announced today that they have further begun to expand ground operations in the Gaza Strip, with footage being released showing Namer heavy armored personnel vehicles and Puma heavy engineering combat vehicles entering the Al Barij refugee camp in central Gaza in order to liquidate the roughly 1,000 Hamas terrorists, which are believed to remain in the camp despite extensive air operations. IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi stated the following: "We eliminated many terrorists and commanders. Some of them surrendered to our forces, and we took hundreds of prisoners. We destroyed many underground infrastructures and weapons." But Halevi warned that in this dense urban area where terrorists are dressed as civilians, it cannot be said that we killed all of them. We will likely still meet Hamas fighters in this area, and we will continue to attack them and pursue them in a variety of ways. And he said, now we are concentrating our efforts in the south of the Gaza Strip, Khan Yunis, the central camps, and beyond. And we will continue to both preserve and deepen the achievement in the north of the Gaza Strip. He said, we are making professional, rational, and calculated use of the resources at our disposal and prepared for the continuation of the fighting in all arenas. This war has necessary and not easy goals to achieve. It takes place in complex territory. That's why the war will continue for many more months. And we will work with different methods so that the achievement will be maintained for a long time. So that's the latest coming out of the Gaza Strip. They're expanding their operation and saying it's going to take many more months. He said there are no magic solutions, no shortcuts in the thorough dismantling of a terror organization, but stubborn and determined fighting. And we are very, very determined. Okay, so Israel is not going to stop. And God bless them. They're fighting for their right to exist, essentially. Okay, Hamas basically wants to annihilate Israel. They want to remove Israel from the map. So does Iran. So does Hezbollah. So God bless Israel and the Israeli people. And the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs said that this evening there was an explosion near the Israeli embassy in India in New Delhi. There have been no casualties reported. And the French Foreign Ministry is reporting that they are deeply concerned about Israel's announcement of the intensification and prolongation of the fighting in Gaza, and they are renewing their call for an immediate truce that leads to a ceasefire while respecting international humanitarian law. Absolutely stupid, guys. So dumb. The French Foreign Ministry is just so dumb. The Turkish Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee has approved Sweden's NATO membership application. So that's huge news. Looks like Sweden will be joining NATO. I think just Hungary has to approve now, but they could also bypass Hungary if they choose to, because now I think it's just Hungary's the only one left that has to approve Sweden's membership. And South Korea's Minister of Defense said on Tuesday that Navy officials of the South Korean Navy must mercilessly bury North Korean sailors at sea in the event of another North Korean provocation. Defense Minister Shin Won-sik made the remark as he inspected the new 2,800-ton Rox Cheonan frigate, which was deployed for operations to the headquarters of the Navy's Second Fleet in Pyeongtaek, 60 kilometers south of Seoul, on Saturday. Shin told Navy officials and sailors to mercilessly bury the enemy at sea if the enemy stages yet another provocation. So, strong words there from the South Korean Minister of Defense. And here's a picture of the vessel that was hit 2 days ago by an Iranian drone or missile just 200 miles offshore from India. India has now deployed 4 guided missile ships in the Arabian Sea, 4 guided missile destroyers, warships that can fire guided missiles, guys. They deployed 4 of them into the Arabian Sea after this happened. Okay, so it's really escalating. Here we have South Korean aerial refueler that was active in the Yellow Sea last night. This is pretty unusual. It was flying for several hours here and doing loops off the west coast of South Korea. And here we have some footage coming out of the UK showing Palestinian protesters trying to obstruct Christmas shopping at a mall in the UK. They're waving Palestinian flags, and the police over there had to be deployed. And this is coming just a day after Palestinian protesters were fighting with police in New York City. One police officer got injured, and they were holding up signs that said F Christmas, and we're going to cancel Christmas. Just absolutely insane, guys. I'm very concerned about something happening on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Apparently, there's already some massive protests planned for New Year's Eve by the Palestinians. So be on high alert, guys. I'll continue to update you with the latest breaking news. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell below this video so you get notified when I post these emergency updates. And I'll probably be back either later on tonight or tomorrow morning with another update. So until then, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.